It's like 5 deflections. How did you think that kind of set the tone defensively for the night? And then you had, pretty much, I think you got them below 25 and 3 out of 4, which is
big time. No, I just think it's a weird game. First of all, it's this weird environment. It's one of those situations where we had to constantly fight to create our own energy, fight to feed off of each other's activity. And I thought with our, at third quarter, they went on a run, and it was, because of our offensive organization and their transition, but we were giving them at the free throw line. And once we showed our hands and got second contests and kept them off the free throw line, we had some great defensive possessions. So I just thought our guys did a good job just staying in the fight.
What did you see from the zone in that third quarter in particular to kind of slow them down a little bit?
It forces us to communicate, forces us to talk, to cover for each other, to give multiple efforts. And, our guys have a different sense of awareness when they're in the zone. We still lost some guys, and I thought they missed some open shots that I think if they make, it's a different story. But for the most part, I thought it just forced us to communicate, forced us to play a little bit harder. And I thought the guys, did a good job executing.
Derrick had that shot from behind the backboard, basically at the very end there, after he missed a few ones in a row. Just how is it to see his confidence that he'll take that shot after the misses?
I mean, that's we talked about that earlier when he stays confident. For him to, I think we got him a couple layups, he missed them, and for him to have the confidence and for his teammates to have the confidence in him to still hit him and shoot it, I mean, he has to play that way. So I thought him and Jrue did a great job tonight, just making plays on both ends of the floor.
Did you say something to Jrue? He came out super aggressive in that first quarter.
No.
Knew he needed to step in there.
I think those are the shots that were there, and I thought he did a good job of just taking what the defense gave him. And he, everybody forgets when Derrick first got here, the adjustment that it took for him, and Jrue's in that category now, and he's just learning how to affect the game differently, and you can see him getting more comfortable on both ends of the floor. And I thought he did that tonight.
Before the game on the in-house preview, they were talking about how Jayson Tatum's lowest career points per game average is against the Raptors at around 18 or so. He had 19 tonight, which is still enough, obviously, to get the win. But is there something about this team, this matchup, that maybe puts somewhat of a ceiling on his performance?
I think anytime he caught the ball for the most of the half, they doubled him. So it's hard to score if they're doubling you every time. I thought he did a good job of picking and choosing his spots, being patient, knowing when he can attack, knowing when he can bait the double. And I think that's the growth that he's shown as a player, especially this year as teams start to guard him differently because of our team. But I know tonight, every time he caught it, there was 2 guys on him. And he did a good job of just balancing his facilitating and his attacking.
Coach, a general question. Compared to last season, in what aspects do you think that you are better as a coach? Compared to your rookie season.
I think just natural experience. I've said before, if I keep doing this, I hope to be better than the previous year all the time. I think that's the most important thing. And so I think it's just experience. You're able to take the data from last year, and that helps decision making because you have a platform to kind of see what a decision looks like. And so, just continuing to grow and gaining as much experience as possible. I would say, the phrase you always talk about when you get into a leadership role is this is what we do here, and that's what we're developing. You have an identity, this is who we are, this is what we do. And it takes time to build that. And so just continuing to build those staples toward that.
I'll say rotations were a little bit flipped with Jalen out, which I think Derrick kind of managed the second unit.
Yeah, we usually do that, take him out at 6 or 5 if one of those 2 guys are out, and he starts the second and the fourth and plays the second and the fourth. And he's gotten into that rhythm of handling and pick and roll. And tonight presented some challenges because of their switching. And I thought our guys did a good job, especially in that third quarter, of playing versus their switching and getting some good baskets in that. We went on that run that got it to 94-80 when that unit of, I think it was Peyton, Sam, Derrick, Al, and Luke. And those guys, that unit did a great job versus their second unit switching.
Coach, so you've seen this team 4 times now, but this is the first time you've had a look at this Raptors team since the trade. What do you make of the sort of new look of this Raptors lineup from an opponent's perspective?
For example, I think they're shooting the ball better. Their spacing's different because of the personnel that they have, and it's weird. They're like a they're a very physical defensive team. They take up space. They force you to fight for space. They're active in their hands. And, with their switching, they really slow the game down and make you have to work for baskets. And they put a ton of pressure on the rim.
Wrap up by Derek's chick. How affirming is it that when you have this game where you're missing one of the Jays, that he can step up and run the second unit with all bench guys, and then those misses he had before that last shot, do you just like seeing in the big moments like he's actually hunting his shot?
Absolutely. I mean, we called a timeout when they went on a run, and I think I don't know if we ran it for him, but he was involved in it. And so his confidence and his aggressiveness is super important. I think, what was the word you used at the beginning?
Can't remember.
Affirming? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the correlation to, like, one of the Jays is out, so it's Derrick's turn. I think this year we've shown that, like, regardless of who's out, there's an affirmation that, like, everyone is going to step up, right? And so it's been Derrick, it's been Jrue, it's been Al, it's been Luke, Peyton, Sam, O'Shea, Lamar, Sweet, like, the whole team. So I think the affirming thing is, like, we don't skip a beat as far as what the intentionality and the execution of our process is, regardless of who's in. I think that's the most important thing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.